After leaving the Grand Hotel Brighton 40 minutes before the bomb exploded, I did not believe I would be in that sort of situation again in my life. But as a tour manager, I made many journeys around the world, but the one I'm going to describe now will live with me for the rest of my life. I was in between Canadian tours with a 7-day break, so I decided to fly to Portland in America. On the morning of the 11th of September 2001, I went into the hotel dining room for breakfast. The TV was on, and there was a lot of noise and confusion. And I looked up at the screen and saw planes crashing into tower blocks. Oh, it's some ghastly film, I thought. But no, it was real. And at that moment, a waitress rushed in, shouting, "My husband works in that tower block." She couldn't stop crying and shaking. It was absolutely pandemonium. I could not believe what I was seeing. 3 hours later, I had to make a big decision. I had arranged to go to a Rotary meeting in Portland that afternoon. Do I go, or do I stay put in the hotel? I decided that I would go and walk to the station to catch the train. On the platform was just one person, a tramp. I asked him if any trains were running, and he said, "Yes, there's one due in 15 minutes. He asked me where I was going, and I showed him the paper with the address on. He said that he knew where that was, and he offered to take me. It would be a 20-minute ride on the train and then a 15-minute walk. I was very grateful and glad of his company. The only embarrassment was that as we walked out of the station, the other end, we received catcalls from a group of youths on the other side of the road. For a tramp and a man in a suit, in my eyes, the tramp was the star. I arrived at the venue and I was thoroughly searched. I entered the meeting room, and I could not believe what I saw with my eyes. There were up to 1,000 people there, many dignitaries, security staff, and emergency services. I was led to a seat by security staff, and then I was amazed. An announcement was made from the chair, welcoming me from England and thanking me for coming to share in their grief on this tragic day. At the end of the meeting, I had 3 offers of help at any time while I was in Portland, and the president of the Rotary Club drove me back to my hotel. 100 yards from the hotel, we came to a standstill. The road was blocked off, and we had to get out, and the car and the passengers were searched. We could not get into the hotel because all the rooms were being checked for fingerprints. When asking why all this, I was told that the previous evening 2 men who checked into the hotel next door had been acting very suspiciously and had been reported. They had disappeared that morning and were suspected as being responsible for the carnage of that morning. Guests in both hotels were being interviewed, searched, and asked why they were there at the hotel and what their plans were for the future. It was 3 days before any normality took place. My problem was that I thought I had a tour to take back in Vancouver, and how was I going to get there? All the airports were closed and no trains were running. I contacted the president of the Rotary Club and told him my problem. "Don't worry," he said. "I will be with you in 2 hours. My wife and I will drive you. It will be a 7-hour journey through the border into Vancouver." They duly arrived on time and we started off. 2 hours down the road, news came over the radio that the Canadian border was closed to all Americans. The Rotarian suddenly thought of an idea. Perhaps there might be a train at the nearest Amtrak station. 2 hours later, we got to the station. Yes, there was a train, and there was just one seat left on it. The train was going to Seattle, and there would be a coach to take us over the border into Vancouver. I thanked my Rotarian friends profusely and gratefully got on the train. When I finally managed to contact my wife, she told me that my tour had been cancelled. Our thoughts on this 20th anniversary of the atrocities of 9/11 are with the families of 3,000 people who lost their lives, and those many people still now suffering in body and mind. May the Lord bless you all and keep you safe.